Welcome back to the Myth series in depth. I'm enjoying doing this series very much, and I hope you are all enjoying it also. Last mission was the Siege of Madrigal. We successfully distracted the Dark at the camp near Comfort so that the Legion could attack Shiver from the flank and end her siege on Madrigal. Now there is a lot of lore, Easter eggs, and other stuff to discuss on this mission, so it might get a bit lengthy, but I would highly recommend paying attention to this one. Let's jump into the journal for Homecoming.
Monday, September 15th, outskirts of Tyr. The battle for Madrigal lasted 4 days without pause. Shiver fell on the first night in a spectacular dream duel with Rabican, one of the 9. No one expected this. We have never before challenged one of the Fallen and won. But the truth behind the victory is stranger than any of the rumors. Apparently the 9 found the severed head of one of Balor's enemies from the old days, buried out in the desert under several tons of sand and rock, and managed to start talking to the thing. Balor is the power behind the Fallen Lords, and we figure his enemy is our friend. They say that the head had an old score to settle with Shiver, and told Rabican that her one weakness was vanity, and showed him how to exploit it. The head appears to know something about everything, and now it has us looking for an artifact called the Total Codex. It's been located in the ruined city of Covenant, but the first group sent to retrieve it has not returned. In a few minutes, Rabican himself is going to send a few of us through a world knot to Covenant to bring back the Codex.
There are 2 images not shown in the game that appear on the disc. One is an image of what is likely an avatar holding up the head. Perhaps Rabican is holding the head. The other image shows a picture of a book on the ground, which is the Total Codex that we will retrieve in this mission. This mission occurs a little over a month after the Siege of Madrigal. The head in this journal is the same one that was discovered by Tron of the 100 Battles from Myth, the Fallen Lords intro video. Myth, the Fallen Lords doesn't tell us who the head is or what his allegiance is, but he will be a key part of the success of the Legion in Myth, the Fallen Lords. In this particular journal, we see 2 things the head helps the Legion with. One is identifying the weakness of Shiver, 2 is telling the Legion about the Total Codex. Because the head tells Rabican about Shiver's weakness, he is able to defeat her in a dream duel. Remember from my first video that dream magic is one of the types of magics in the world of Myth that come from the defeated god Word. If you look back at the lost screen on the previous mission, A Traitor's Grave, I hinted at something to notice in the picture. It makes sense that if Shiver's weakness is vanity, that she is wearing a dress and has a mirror in her tent. Now how exactly does Rabican use vanity to defeat Shiver isn't very clear, and is still a bit fuzzy in my mind. The Tales from Myth comic by Bungie tells a story of the battle. Ground Zero by Mark Bernal. The description for this comic is exactly the same as the journal, so we will skip it. Ground Zero, August 5th, outskirts of Madrigal. The battlefield fell silent as the 2 commanders confronted one another atop the Hill of Mourning. Rabican had heard tales of Shiver's powerful sorcery and how quickly she had defeated those whom he considered his peers. The ground on air which they stood began to wrap and fold upon itself as the duel began. A cold breeze froze Rabican where he stood. The souls began to peel away from his body, and his concentration waned. Struggled. 2. Thought. Mulligan. Whisper. Weakness. Vanity. Vanity. Peel the body, then pierce the soul. Victory? Rabican stood to fight another day. Shiver lingered in defeat. The comic is very vague and confusing, so if you are more lost than before reading it, then you are not alone. The date in the comic is August 5th, and the date in the journal entry for the Siege of Madrigal is August 8th, which would be the 4th day in the siege, and will mean that the Siege of Madrigal is the day that the siege ended, which makes a lot of sense. What is the Hill of Mourning? I don't see this name anywhere else. If you look at the image, you can see what looks like a bunch of people watching the dream duel between Shiver and Robocan. Perhaps Robocan challenged her to a duel and she agreed, knowing that she was much more powerful than Robocan and little knowing that he would expose her weakness. Another possibility is the dream magic was so powerful that none of the armies could approach. In Myth 3 The Wolf Age, Shiver was a very accomplished warrior, but did not have any magic. Where did she gain the dream spells and powerful magic that she now has? It is most likely that she learned this magic from Balor himself. Dream magic can create the very fabrics of existence, so this is why the ground and air began to wrap upon itself as the battle began. Now in this image you can see a face above Robocan and Shiver. It is possible that it is their faces, but the images above show their faces facing each other, so why would Bungie show it again? My best guess is the image above Robocan is Word, the face above Shiver is one of the dark gods. While Word is the source of dream magic in the world of myth, I would think that the dark gods would be aiding Shiver. Robocan looks very buff in this image and straight up looks like a badass. Comparing him to the guy in the prologue video, it is unclear whether it is the same person. Notice that there seems to be some emphasis on the amulet he is wearing. Perhaps this is a runestone or a mark of the Avatara. One of Shiver's dream spells is her Whisper Dream, and you can see how it entraps Robocan. Notice that it says the souls, plural, began to peel away from his body. Perhaps this is because it was the dark gods who were peeling away at his consciousness. That is part of the secret behind Shiver's Whisper Dream magic. Either way, this spell caused him to be trapped and made him slowly lose his mind. Now why does the comic say Moagim? From what I have read in some of the forums, this is just Shiver taunting Robocan with images of Moagim, although I haven't found a good reason of why Moagim and not something else. Notice all the paths of dream whispers passing from Shiver to Robocan are visible in the images. Perhaps when Robocan whispers Shiver's weakness of vanity, he can't actually do whisper dream magic himself, but instead Robocan can pass through the conduit that Shiver has already made. This seems to line up with images and the idea of somehow Shiver is affecting Robocan's consciousness. Most likely Robocan learned how to do this from the head. What exact images or thoughts Robocan gave Shiver to expose her vanity is a mystery, but notice how Shiver drops her guard and seems to be consumed by thoughts about her own appearance. She seems to be looking at herself and her eyes look different than from any of the other images. Notice in the last image how the land around the duel is completely destroyed. Also notice that it says Shiver lingered in defeat. Perhaps we will see her again. Now back to the journal. The head was telling the Legion to get the Total Codex in Covenant. Now the Total Codex is a very unique and powerful book in the world of myth. The Myth the Fallen Lord's Manual tells us that the Codex is a magical book of immense power in which is written the fate of every creature that will ever be born in the world of myth. As you can imagine, reading a book that tells you the fate of everything could be very useful and powerful. However, it is also very dark and sinister. Some things are just better not knowing. We will see this later on, but a good question to ask: why would the head want this book, and how would he know where it is? Now there's a particular object we will run across in a later mission called the Tane, and the journal entry when describing it says that the darkest artifacts call out soundlessly to the wicked discontent from thousands of miles away or hundreds of feet beneath the earth or sky. Perhaps this clues us in as to how the head knew where the Total Codex was. It isn't much of a threat to say that the Total Codex is one of the darkest artifacts. Also, a head that can keep itself alive without a body for who knows how long underneath Earth has to be one of the most powerful sorcerers or mages, so that could be a reason he knows the Total Codex and where it is. Now, the reasoning the head wants such a book has to make you question whether you should trust him, but the Legion is a bit ignorant of these things, and perhaps they trust the head since he helped them to defeat Shiver. At the end of the journal it says that Robocan is sending the narrator through the World Knot to Covenant. Myth the Fallen Lord's manual says that the World Knot is an ancient relic that provides near instant movement from place to place. The game doesn't specifically say who built them, but my best guess is the dwarves because they know how to repair them, as we will see in one of the missions. And also that they have created several similar items with magical power. Let's watch the cutscene for this mission. In the first part of the mission, we see a marking on the World Knot. If we look at the model for the World Knot, we can see the same symbol and there is some text on it, but unfortunately it is not legible. Next we see a stained glass window and what looks like a cathedral. This cathedral appears in the mission. In fact, we know it is a cathedral because the level designer has a quote where he specifically calls it a cathedral, and also the models and the editor call it cath, which is short for cathedral. The model for the wall appears a bit different in the game than from the cutscenes, but keep in mind that these cutscenes were outsourced. Now at the end of the video we see a statue that I have read most people think is Connacht. However, I do not agree with this conclusion. The statue also appears in the game. In the mission at the destroyed cathedral, we will find a casket with the Total Codex book nearby. It stands to reason that the person who is buried in the casket is the same as the person as whom the statue represents. The statue shows a man in a sorcerer's robe with an amulet holding a book in his right arm and a staff in his left arm. Now, the image in the stained glass window sort of looks like someone holding a staff also. The two main reasons I think this is not Connacht is that one, that we know that they never would have had his body to bury, and two, Connacht was not a magic user. It also stands to reason that this amulet represents that this man was likely an Avatara if we compare it to the amulet that Robocan was wearing in the Tales from Myth comic. The specific model is called Desert Statue in the editor. I have a couple of theories on who this could be. The first is that he is an Avatara not mentioned in any of the games from the past. Perhaps one that fell to Balor earlier in the war, or perhaps someone from the distant past. My second theory is that he is Forgal. Now who the hell is Forgal, you might ask? The only place Forgal's name is mentioned is in one of the comics called Antero's Bestiary. I will go over this particular comment in detail later, but the first lines in the comic tell us about Forgal. When Connacht fell and the great university burned, we lost countless generations of accumulated knowledge. Chief among the lost was the last surviving copy of Forgal's Bestiary. It makes sense that he had important knowledge at Covenant that was lost when it was burned, which was not long after Balor's army appeared here before the game started. The boy in the comic wears a cloak like a magic user and calls Antero his master. He is helping to develop Antero's Bestiary. This makes me think that Antero is likely a magic user, but possibly an Avatara, so my theory is that the same is true for Forgal. Putting all things together, the book the statue is holding is likely not representing the Total Codex, but actually representing Forgal's Bestiary. The Total Codex was likely located in the Great University that was destroyed in Covenant. The journal also mentioned another group who went to retrieve the Total Codex ahead of the narrator, but they haven't heard about what happened to them. We will see this in the mission. Now let's get into this mission. Lead your journeyman to the Total Codex and pick it up by clicking on it, then follow him out of the city. Alright, we're going to all spawn in right as soon as I start this mission through this World Knot. And there's going to be a bunch of soulless, a couple goals. They're going to start shooting at us. So first we're going to get some warriors. So as soon as it starts, I'm going to try to get them out of this World Knot so my archers and dwarves can come out and take care of these soulless and whatnot. So let's do that.
Ambush! Get clear of the knot! Yes.
So I tried to bring him over here, and then I tried to hide him behind this rock
We're moving.
so that
We're moving.
Solus can't hit him. And also that draws him close, the Solus close, so I can blow him up with my doors.
Got it.
Step aside.
So as soon as these spawn in, I try to move these outside archers out of the way so my doors can move up.
Hey, step aside. Step aside.
So, I mean, it's not the only way to do it, but the idea is get your doors out of the, or the archers out of the way so your doors can move. Then there's gonna be some Solus coming this way, so I want to get my Solus to shoot those guys. Let's move these guys out of the way. Come on, come on, pathfinding.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Sir? All right.
All right, we'll just take care of these Solus real quick.
Got him. Ready.
Some of our archers have some good experience, so
Ready.
their accuracy is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it.
Stand clear. Hey, step aside. That was mine.
There we go. All right, that's it for this beginning part. And then our journeyman will come through last.
The Codex is in the cathedral. Let's go.
Move here. Move there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Move here. Move there.
the easiest way I found to do this is there's like a lot of Thrall, Solus, and goals in this mission. So
We're moving. Yes, sir.
I don't got my journeyman hotkeyed. Sometimes I feel like I get the preset, but it doesn't work. Maybe I try to do it too fast or something, I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. So, first off, we're gonna
Yes, sir.
bring some of the Thrall and Solus and goals over here. So let's go find some of them. Like, here's one group.
Yes. Got it. Yes.
I forgot to show something off.
On my way.
Okay, let's get this back to normal speed. Get over here. Let's bring our journeyman over here in case we need to heal an archer.
On the way. Yes. On the way.
Looks like the Thrall are going around the long other way, which isn't what I wanted, but that's alright. Okay, let's bring our... We'll just reposition.
Move here. Move there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we want to keep some warriors down here because I want to show you something after we kill these Thrall.
Yes, sir. Okay. Mic up, you mic up, you. Hey. Move here. Move there. Yeah. Move here. Move there. That was mine. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, make short work of these guys.
Got him. Mic up. Where?
Not much to say.
Mic up, you money.
There's a lot of... There's like going to be several groups of these Thrall that we got to kill.
Okay. Money. Hey, move it. Stand clear. Sorry.
We're on it. Your orders, sir. On my way.
Yes.
Don't throw.
Let's get him. Let's get him. Stay down.
Stand clear. Step aside. Hey. Hey.
Oh no, don't shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll heal that warrior up. Okay.
Yes. 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 Got it. Yes, sir. Got
Okay.
it. Yes.
Okay, I want to show you. Okay, so what will happen? Yeah, okay. So what's going to happen is, and I didn't realize this at first when I first played the mission, is that once you leave, get so far away from this swirl knot, you're gonna hear an explosion sound, and that's the swirl knot getting destroyed. So technically, it's like you're not supposed to be able to leave and come back. So I've kind of tested it out, and I kind of know the timing of. It's gonna be basically it's gonna be like a bunch of whites come show up out of nowhere, and they'll blow it up. So I have it timed out so I can show you guys. I practiced a little bit. Let's see if I can get it. Go 8.
On my way.
Okay, I didn't think I waited long enough. It's like you have to get a certain distance away.
Yes.
So basically when you pass these steps, like right here, I gotta wait like 2.5 seconds. On times 8. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that should be good.
Yes, sir.
Yep, so you can see all these whites coming to destroy it. Yep, so that's how that gets destroyed, in case you're ever wondering. And sometimes this pus, because of all those whites, it goes really far sometimes. Okay. Alright, now we can get back to the mission. I thought that was kind of cool. Wanted to show that to you guys. So, so what I kind of like to do is I'm going to bring this warrior out and chase him back here, because then I'm going to be able to kill him easier. Now, there's some goals over here I could kill. There's somewhere over here.
On my way. Got it.
Maybe.
Got it.
Oh well. If I don't catch him, I don't think it's a big deal.
Got it. On my way.
So, here's the Total Codex. Now, there's going to be a group here that defends this place and a bunch of enemies that appear. If you bring 2 units within a certain radius of this. So that's like, it's like out here on the map somewhere. If you look at our map, it's like, well, it's like halfway across this road. So if I bring a second unit out there for like a few seconds, then it will trigger.
Got it.
So before we do that, what we can do is we can kill some of these goals back here. Yeah, because they get like stuck on each other. Some of these goals have pus. Like that guy, like that goal had pus. Okay, so
Sir?
the easiest way, because like the goals are faster than the warriors, but the reason they don't catch up is they like get stuck on each other and they pause and stuff. So you can kite them across the map because they have like a really long aggro distance.
Got it.
Now there's this huge group of goals, so taking care of this goals early would make it a lot easier. Now we'll just pass forward. Here we go. Come over here, warrior.
Got it.
That was mine.
Look at all of them. So we gotta be careful because several of them have pus.
Yes. That was mine. Money. That was mine. Money.
Casual.
Yep, like there.
My copy.
So maybe I should let's try that again. So what I think I'll do is I think I'll move my archers back just a little bit.
Ready. On the way. All right. Sir? All right.
So that way they can't throw the
Alright,
pus up
sir,
here.
on
At
the
least
way.
that's the idea. Alright, let's try that.
Your orders, sir.
We'll bring them back again.
Yes. Yes, sir. On my way.
Alright, come here, goals. Yeah.
Okay. Move here, move there.
Come on, goals. Try to throw it on the edge of the water. But sometimes they bounce in the water and go out. Well, these gulls are retarded. They're pathfinding. They don't even know how to get up there. The pathfinding is so bad. They just get stuck.
Got him.
Yes, sir. Let's get him.
Ready. Ready. Yes. Stand clear.
Okay, there we go. So we took care of those goals.
Sir? All right. Ready. Sir? Right away.
Okay. Actually, let's show you something else too. So,
Yes, sir.
if you look at this statue right here, that was the one I was talking about. And then, so here's the cathedral. There's the front door. And then there's the Total Codex. And there's like a casket or tomb or whatever you want to call it. So, like I was saying, I figured that this dude in the statue over here is buried here in the cathedral. And this Total Codex just so happens to be here. I don't think it was actually in this cathedral to begin with, because I think what the game was intending was that this group of people that's going to appear here, which you're not supposed to be able to save, I think they're supposed to have been carrying the Total Codex and got chased down by the undead. So I don't think it's necessarily means that they had the, that the Total Codex was here and they're picking it up. I think it was actually at the Great University, which, who knows where that was. So, anyways, just something to think about.
Yes, sir.
Although the game doesn't really tell us, so I'm purely speculating. Now, if I bring another unit here, right, within a certain area, all these units are going to appear. So, something to think about is, like, if I just send one, if I bring this warrior back and, like, bring my journeyman, I can pick up the Total Codex and he won't go on autopilot. Because normally after you trigger all these units coming in and you pick up the Total Codex, the journeyman will go on autopilot and start going to the end of the mission. You can't control him. You can't use his heals anymore or anything. And there'll also be a big group of enemies that appear here later. So, so there's that. And also, well, I'll explain that later. To win the mission, well, let's say it. To win the mission, you just need the journeyman with the Total Codex and one other unit coming over here. Now, if all your units, if your journeyman dies, you automatically lose the mission. But if you lose all your other units and not the journeyman, you don't automatically lose. Yet you can't win either. So that's just something interesting. So what we're gonna do
Yes, sir.
is we're gonna trigger all these units. You can save the units,
Yes, sir.
and then they'll join you.
Yes, sir.
But we'll just trigger this, and I'll show you that. There's a video I have where a guy did that on the Fallen Lords. So you'll see right here about you see him hear him fighting and stuff.
Yes, sir.
There's all kinds of units, so we'll let them fight it out. You can see, although you can't see the units, you can see the dead bodies showing up and stuff. So they were all around this Total Codex. So now they're all over the place. Actually, I probably should have brought some back right away. It doesn't matter. So here comes some units.
Got it.
We'll kite them in.
Got him.
And they'll have a big group of Thrall behind them.
Yes. Got him. Money.
Okay, Thrall, come here.
Money.
Now archers are gonna have a ton of kills this mission, I can already tell.
That was mine. Got him.
Yeah.
Money. Yes.
Boom! Okay. There's that grouped out. Okay, let's go get some more units. There's a ton of units still on this map. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
There might be this. There's this group right back here. We can't kite them back. So what we can do, however, they won't chase us the whole way. What we can do is if we send this journeyman up here, there'll be like a little dialogue.
It's over here.
It's over here. He's talking about the Total Codex. So that's going to trigger another group. At least I believe so. I've only tested this like once. But I believe like another group of Thrall and Solus will come up there. So we'll give him a few seconds.
Your orders, sir.
And then we'll go get him with the warrior.
On my way. Yes.
Let's see if this works out right.
Got it. Yes. Yes, sir.
Where are they? Unless I... Oh, I think that was them right there.
Got it.
Is that them? Yep, there they are. Let's
Yes, sir.
let's chase out.
Yes.
Let's run in front of them.
Yes, sir.
I'll just go all the way around them.
On my way.
And the reason I want to go all the way around them instead of going this way is I want to direct them like into my archers.
On my way. Yes, sir.
We can heal this guy when he gets back. I'm not too worried. I could have been a little safer,
On
but
my way. Got it. Yes, sir.
so we want to go like right direct this way.
Got it.
There we go. Yeah, we got him at a good angle. Because if we bring them this way, then our doors can hit them. Rather, if they come this way, it's harder. My archers can't hit them. My doors can't hit them. This is good though.
That was mine. My copy. Got him. Okay, move that. Oh yeah. My copy. That was mine. Okay. Oh yeah.
There we go. We got rid of Solus. Now it's just blow up the thrall.
Okay.
Stand clear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Stand clear. Step aside.
Oh yeah.
We're on it. Yes.
Let's go ahead and heal this guy. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna kill this last group
Yes.
of enemies, and then we pretty much won the mission. Well, we want to go right. So this group, we want to kind of use this thing as a deflector. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get my dwarves there, my archers there, my warriors over here. Because I kind of want them to try to chase after the bulk of my units. That's why I put my warriors over there. And here they're coming.
Okay. Yes, sir. Move here, move there. Okay. Yes, sir. Catch. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. Got him.
Oh yeah.
Money.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And we just got to kill these thrall.
Move here, move there. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Actually, we might need to run.
Yes. We're moving.
I kind of got my... I should have got my warriors there later, because the problem was they came up a little too fast.
Move here, move there. Make up your mind. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's just go.
That was mine.
Let's get him.
What now?
Got it.
Oh, they're running. Okay, just chase them down.
Yes.
Yeah. And stay down.
Stand clear. Stand clear.
Okay.
Sorry.
Stop it, archers.
We're on it.
Okay. Okay, that didn't go well, but it wasn't
We're moving.
a complete disaster either. So if I want, there's some herbs here you can pick up if you want to do some healing here, but it really doesn't matter because there's really nothing left. But we'll just use them since they're here before we put our journeyman on autopilot.
Yes, sir. Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we can end the mission.
I've got it.
So as I
Now
said,
we must flee.
you only need the journeyman up there and one other
This
unit.
way.
So I'll show
This
that to
way.
you.
Yes.
So I'll just send one unit with him.
Yes, sir.
And if I didn't kill those goals up here, they would chase me down. So it's good to kill those goals. But anyway, that's the mission. Alright everyone, I want to show you a recording I found of this guy named Asmodeus. And he's gonna save... I don't want to spoil it, but well, I'll just say it. He's gonna save all the units that spawn here. Right, now this is a recording on the original Myth, the Fallen Lords. And so... yeah, the screen is only taking up a quarter of my screen. It plays kind of funky. I could mess around with it and get it to work better, but just getting things to run on Windows 10 with Myth, the Fallen Lords is going to be a little annoying. But anyways, you see, so we got this dwarf here. He's going to move a bunch of satchels and get ready for them to come. So I'll show you what he does. So he's going to place all his satchels. And he picks up these satchels around here and moves them around. So he's kind of trying to position it because there will be a white that appears right here. So he's trying to position it so that he'll kill the white right away and save the units. Okay, he's probably getting close. I think he goes and moves a couple more. Yep. So you're just getting it all set up. Alright, let's see. This unit moving. Let's watch this guy. So once this guy starts... okay, there, now he's getting ready. So we're at half. Oh, he must have missed something. Yeah, he's moving his dwarf, so he's not going yet. So we'll tell once this guy moves, we'll know we're about ready to go. He's still getting stuff ready. Okay. Okay. The reason I want to pause it right when they all appear. Okay. So you see, he got his satchel set up, so he's gonna kill like all these units over here. I guess these warriors. Let's see if these warriors die. I think those warriors might die because I thought he saved like pretty much all of them, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, and there's a white here. You know, so these whites will give you problems. The goals will give you problems. All these soulless will give you problems. It's really hard to save them. Plus, like, you don't get to control them right in that way. Wait, see, they're blue. So even though he has his unit down here, he doesn't have control of them yet. So let's see what happens. I guess he died. One warrior did die. Okay. So he didn't save quite all of them. But okay, so now he has control of them. And he's moving them all this way, right where all those explosions were. So let's see if we can see how many units die. I just thought this was really cool. So apparently this white, you know, he has to go to a certain spot or something. I don't know. So So he's gonna save all those units. Let's see if these units die, because he might only lose that one unit.
And stay down.
So now these whites haven't even exploded yet. Come on, warrior, get out of there. Yep, and that dwarf, where did that dwarf go? Did that dwarf make it? I didn't see him. But anyways, you can see, like, he saved, like, almost all of them, which is so ridiculous. But anyways, he goes on and beats the rest of the mission, with so many dwarves. He has another one back here, extra warriors. He just has so many units at this point. It's pretty impressive. That had to been taking a lot of effort, to get all those satchels in the right spot and trying that. So hats off to Asmodeus, but I thought you guys would like that. So anyways, on the victory screen, we see a warrior handing off the Total Codex. This really doesn't fit the mission exactly, so there is a strong reason to believe that the mission was changed during the design, and this image doesn't get updated to reflect that. This is what Jay Bringer from Bungie, who designed the level, says about it. Ryan Martel had started it, and I finished it off. One thing I remember about the level was trying and failing to get a series of blocking forces to engage the player between the knot and the cathedral, to make it really difficult for you to save the team with the book. My assumption is that perhaps at one point the level was designed such that you could save some of the team at the cathedral. As I've shown, it is possible to save a bunch, but the normal gamer would never have been able to do this without knowing exactly how the level works. The man retrieving the Total Codex is most likely Mariok, whom we will discuss in the next mission. On the lost screen, we see the Watcher holding the Total Codex with his foot on a warrior who may also be Mariok. We can see the wall from the cathedral, and this wall doesn't exactly match the video or the model in the game. Okay, maybe the model in the game is just cut short and is mostly consistent with it, I suppose. Now for Easter eggs on this mission, if you look at the shadow from the amphitheater, you will see what looks like a warrior with a shield and a falcon. These actually don't appear on the amphitheater model itself, most likely because it is supposed to be above your field of view. Not sure what this means, but just something interesting. If you leave a warrior at the world knot, the whites will never come and destroy it. You can bring all your forces back to an intact world knot, cannot leave from it. The book that the statue has reads Book of Lanreb. Bernal is Lanreb backwards. Mark Bernal was an art level designer who worked on Myth. He also worked on Halo. Now, if you save the journeyman who is defending the cathedral and have him pick up the Total Codex, he will not go into autopilot like usual. As a bonus for this video, I wanted to bring up a plugin made by the community, specifically Uga and Renwood. This plugin has HG sprites for the units and other things. The plugin also changes some of the behavior of the units, such as the dwarves, to be more authentic towards Myth the Fallen Lords. The fetch lightning was also modified to more closely match Myth the Fallen Lords. I believe these changes only occur when you play with TFL mode on. The pathfinding for units is still using the improved Myth 2 Soulblighter pathfinding though. This plugin might be for you if you are looking for some better looking units or want a more authentic experience of Myth the Fallen Lords. This mod was made in a year-long effort by the community, and they used some of the original Bungie models in order to make the sprites. Now the legality of having the original Bungie models is very questionable. It seems that they got these from Project Mangwa. In fact, there seems to be a bit of drama in the Myth community over it. I have not heard all sides of the story, and I do not know how Project Mangwa got Bungie's models, so I wouldn't start pointing fingers or playing the blame game, and I don't know enough to do so. Bungie models were likely not the final Bungie models, and therefore had some quirks to iron out. Some of the models were missing or corrupt, so the gaps had to be filled in from scratch. For the most part, the HG sprites look authentic and are very good, but there are things that just don't look that great and could use some more work. An example would be some of the warriors. On some missions they're so good that you won't notice much of a difference until you zoom in and notice all of the additional detail. Now that is pretty dang authentic. Overall, this is a very good plugin and I recommend trying it out. Because of some of the drama around the plugin, it does not appear on the Tane or Project Magma. I'll put a link in the video description where you can access the plugin. I won't be using this plugin in my videos, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. Thank you for watching Homecoming, and I will see you next time in Light from Covenant.